How did you do that? How did you do that?
Welcome back, everyone. Today I have actually had the NDA slightly lifted, so now I can show the Warden. As you can see, I've got no watermarks all over the screen, and I'm permitted to show this part of the game. And I'm going to show you basically what I've been doing so far in terms of building him for Magicka. They're not really strong, but I'll show you what I've set it up to so far and show you why the skills are there and what they do. Elemental Drain and Harness Magicka is what I would use on the front bar at the moment, just because I need a shield and I need to reduce the enemy's resistance and keep some Magicka regen. But I've morphed this shield wrong. It doesn't make any difference to DPS. I just did that there. Inner Light, obviously, for the 5% max magic and the crit. We use the Cliff Racer attack as our main spammable in place of what would usually be used a whip or crushing shock from other classes. The ultimate is obviously the bear, because it seems to be the strongest thing that this class is capable of using. With a Death Royalty, it just didn't perform, which is stupid, but so far it's not very good with it. Although AoE situations, that may be a different case. We're using, where is it called? Winter's Revenge, which is basically a floor dot, just like Liquid Lightning except frost and lasts a bit longer. Then we're using the Minor Berserk buff, Inner Light first, but we're using the Minor Berserk buff as well, Bird of Prey, which is just like the Nightblade skill, which increases your damage. Obviously in a trial you probably won't be using it, because you'll get Combat Prayer, but for now we are. For self buffs, we're also using, you could change out to this, actually. You could change to the Blue Betty if you wanted, for recovery and self buff of spell damage if you haven't got pots, but like I said, for now we're just using that. You can pretty much change it to what you want. Blockade of Storms, Elemental Blockade, which is the Lightning Staff version of it, obviously, because I'm using a Lightning Staff on the back bar. And we're also using the Swarm. Now this is very important. It does a single target depth over time, and then if you reapply it, it does 75% increased damage. Just be aware that if you overwrite the strong version, the old version will die. So you'll get a crap one again. Don't do that. Make sure that you keep the uptime of the strong one first, let it run it completely, and then only reapply on top of the low one. Stats are so-so. It is what it is. We didn't get much choice on the PTS, unless you're obviously on PC already, which my characters are not. So I put together what I could, and let's see what we get. Now, obviously, usually when I create a build or a rotation, I usually have the dots on the back bar, which go on the floor, and then switch to the front, and you have your main spammables, which is pretty straightforward. With the new patch, obviously, sustain is going to be pretty big in terms of issues with these types of rotations. So what I've done is I've put my 2 dots down on the floor, obviously, with whatever buffs are applied, and then 2 heavy attacks. Then I reapply my dots, and then switch to the front for the spammables. That way I keep consistent damage, and I keep a consistent sustain, and everything's absolutely fine. Now the bear is really bloody strong. He's got a lot of light attacks and heavy attacks, which are based off of max magic, but they also are affected by the same champion points and same bonuses and all the rest of it as your light and heavy attacks. So when we proc off balance and our heavy attacks get buffed to hell by like a 40-to-1 ratio, so do his, including his ultimate hit. Now, he does execute damage as such when the target's below 25% health. He hits harder. So if you pop an ultimate, which makes him do his big hit, when they're low health, also the same applies. He hits a lot harder. So just be aware of that. This particular setup, obviously, I've forced to get as much off balance as possible. Inside a trial situation, if you have a couple people using Lightning Wall of Elements, or even more, actually, you can keep that uptime. So not only does it benefit you, but it benefits everybody else as well, and especially the bear. Like I said, the Lightning Death Royalty was a bit crap on this particular class, but the bear hits really hard. In fact, if you just rewind to when I hit that ultimate, I think he hit for like 58k. That I've seen go up to like 62 plus. Now, optimal gear, there you go, 28k. I can get a bit higher than 28, pushing towards 29, but to be honest, with the gear that I've got on now, obviously that's not optimal, but even with optimal gear, you're probably looking no more than 30k DPS without trial buffs. Now, in a trial, yeah, that's going to go up a bit, quite considerably, but it's not going to be the highest DPS in the game. It's just consistent sustain and decent damage at the same time. It probably needs a bit of a buff to do anything special, but for now, that's as far as I can push it. So we'll see what the changes are in the next coming update for the patch on the PTS and see if that improves. If not, this is pretty much where it's staying for now. So hopefully that wasn't too boring. Unfortunately, the Warden's not as strong as we'd like it to be at the moment, but who knows. Now, I'm coming up to 3k subscribers, so that means that I have to give away some more shiny stuff. So keep your eyes peeled for that. In the meantime, thank you very much for everyone who's subscribing already. If you're not already subscribing, please do hit that button. It is free. And if you get some spare time, of course, please check out the Patreon page and the website. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye.